Hello, so this video I'm looking at, should I change to the new P790 from my D9 forged Wilsons? I've had this for a couple of years now and I had the D7 forged before. I've been loyal to Wilson over the last few years and I really like the clubs. Tempted by something new next year, and this P790's come out and I just wonder whether it should be a direct replacement for mine and whether it's any better, feels nicer, goes further, more forgiving, don't know. So this test is about trying it out and seeing what I think. So the new P790 is very similar to last year's. In fact, I've had to actually almost put a sticker on it to remind myself which one's which from last year's to this year's, because I've still got last year's kicking about. And it's almost impossible to tell the difference unless you know what to look for. It is a very nice looking club. The advertising is going along the lines of the beauty lies within this time, which is to do with internally. They've done a lot to it. This isn't exactly a new idea, but trying to keep the shorter irons down in flight and get the longer irons easily more up in the air. So not new in terms of an idea, but new for the P790. They've done that more than ever. It's also got tungsten in it and various other features like speed foam and speed slots to help forgiveness and speed. So it has a lot going for it, has a lot of help, but so does my Wilson. They've both got forged faces, they're both 30.5 degrees loft. They're both these players distance irons which are forgiving but also look the part, and I just want to see which one's better. Right, so I'm going to start with the P790 and in terms of when I put it down, it has a really nice top line. It's obviously not as thin as a tour spec club, it's got a little bit of a thicker top line. When I put my one down against it, mine has shinier bits at the side, a very technical term there, shinier bits. And the P790 has a sort of sandblasted middle, slightly duller metal on the outsides of that middle face section. In terms of the top line, not a lot in it. If anything, does the P790 look a little bit thicker? It doesn't. There's very little in it. It almost looks slightly bigger, the club head, slightly longer front to back. My club's a little bit more rounded, but they're both nice looking. It wouldn't put me off looks wise. If I started using the P790, I could absolutely live with it. It's a really nice looking club. Mine, as I say, mine's nice as well, but it's just a little bit more rounded and a bit shinier. That's about as simple as it gets. In terms of the sort of bag appeal there, P790 probably looks better, looks more toury, slightly even more better player. Mine looks like it's got that sort of traditional cavity look to it, even though it is hollow inside as well. But yeah, it looks slightly like you know what you're doing a little bit more even than mine does, which is an appeal in itself, to be honest. I've got to at least look like I might be a pro. So P790 first, let's get a few shots away and have a look at the figures compared to the D9 forged. I'm doing two slightly different swings here. I'm going to do it with the P790 and with my own club, to be fair, but I've been working on getting rid of a hook. I'm going to hit one fade swing where I try and finish across here, make sure I don't get the face flipping over to try and get rid of that hook feel, and then I'll go back to a more normal swing, and usually I'll get a little bit of a hook and a wee bit more distance with that. It'll even out between the two of them, but it's just that I want to make sure you're aware that if I do hit some funny looking shots, I am actually working on things. That's an attempted fade swing. Well, didn't hook it. Wasn't a great strike, and just desserts given to it. Carry was 157. Normal swing. There's that little bit of hint of right to left. Wouldn't mind that if I only did that. That's suddenly gone 174 in the air because I hit it better and I did it with my non-fadey swing. Back to the fadey swing. Bit thin again. And a 162 because it wasn't a very good strike. Normal swing. I managed to get that a little bit thin. 166 in the air. Back to the fade swing, so we can get a better strike this time. Better strike, I think I left the face probably too much. Open, definitely doesn't go as far when I hit the fade swing, although that's a bit better. That was 168 in the air. Go back to the normal. And there's that slightly left shot that I'm trying to get rid of. It does go a bit further when you do that. So I got 178 in the air on that one. And then back to fade swing. Not my best either. But it did alright actually, I'm surprised at that. That was good forgiveness there because that went 169 in the air. So that was good. 19 launch, 6,000 spin nearly. Back to the normal swing. Not my best, but there's that slight right to left. I got 170 carry there. Big thing I noticed between the two swings is higher spin rates on the fade swing. That'll be his angle of attack, no doubt. So it goes down to 5,100 on the normal swing, slightly more drawy, shallower swing. Funny enough, the launch angle is quite similar a lot of the times. It's around that 17 degrees, that's quite low, but it averages out about 19 a lot of the time. So back to the fadey swing now. Not my best either again, but it went 160 in the air. It's feeling nice. It's not feeling incredibly soft or anything. It doesn't have a forged face. It should feel quite soft. Normal swing. Felt like a good strike. Nice shot. It's carried 174. That's 4,800 spin. Say the spin comes down when I do that. 18 degrees launch. Back to the fadey swing. That felt a good swing, but I don't know if I kept the face open enough. Oh, that's a nice, fairly neutral shot. Actually went a little bit left at the end. And that carried 181. And then the spin was 5.5, so that was kind of middle ground. Didn't quite get the fadey swing right there. A little bit too much of my old swing. Maybe last one with the old swing. That slight draw. What's that gone? 174 in the air. So I mean these are powerful. This is the upper end of where I hit my own one, but we'll see in a minute. I'll just hit a few with my own just to make sure I'm at the races, and I'm going from the other one straight to my own just to give you some thoughts on feel. So my own club, D9 forged. It's exactly the same shaft in this. So fade swing to start with. No, didn't hit that very well. 156 in the air, normal swing. That felt good, felt really soft. My initial thought from this club to the other one, even without, and this is reminding me what my own feels like now, I've hit a couple. This feels a tiny bit softer than the P790, it does to me. 176 in the air, so good figures again. Was that spin 5,600, 18 degrees launch. So back to the fadey swing. I think it was alright. See there's suddenly 6,700 spin and 156, so nowhere near as powerful a shot with that swing. Back to normal swing. Decent, a little bit pushed out, trying to come back. 173 carry again, much stronger carry on that swing. Back to a little fadey one again. I'm not getting it quite right, but it's still a work in progress. 165 carry, spin up at 6,200. Back to the normal. I got out with the toe. I'll leave it in there because I didn't hit all the P790s perfect either. 160 carry on a bad strike, so it's not bad. Then the fadey swing. Not quite flushed, and only 157 on the carry there. Back to normal. Decent, good strike. Felt nice, felt really soft, powerful. That's what I like about these clubs when you get one like that. 175, and then spin was 5,600, launch 18. And then maybe this is a final one for a fadey swing, see if I can get one a bit better. Better strike, but I don't think I faded it really. Oh no, it's pretty good. Yeah, that's kind of what I was trying to do. So what did that go? 170, so only a little bit less, so that's good. Yeah, so let's have a look at the figures. The ball speed's very similar. It says 117, 116. That could have just been to do with strike. Launch, a little bit lower on the 17.2 to 17.9 again. Strike dependent, very similar. They are the same loft, so I wouldn't expect it to be too different. 5,500 spin, 5,800 spin on my club. Not enough to bother about really, I don't think. Carry 169 on the P790, 165 on mine. Total 177 to 181. So that's from a fairly small batch of data, but I can tell just by the way they're going when I hit one well, how far it's going. When I hit one well with the P790, it's similar, and the lofts are similar and they are built similar. One thing that's not similar is the price. The price of the P790s is going to be about £1,200 for 7 irons, roughly. And these, when they inevitably get replaced at some point, will be about £800, maybe £850, something like that, I would think. So they're about £400 less. They're probably a little bit less than that at the moment. In fact, they might even be half that at the moment. So if you are budget conscious, there is no question what the winner is. It's the D9 Forged or the model that comes after it. Don't know what that'll be called. But the question was, would I change to the P790? And the answer is yes to that. It feels good enough. I think possibly the Wilson felt a tiny bit softer. Maybe. It may have just been to do with the strikes I was getting, but if I fancied a change, which I kind of do soon, then I might be tempted by the P790 because I like the looks enough, I like the feel enough, and the performance was definitely there. It was on the level. I didn't feel like it was any better, but it certainly was no worse. So I would be buying them off looks. And I do think it looks slightly better, if I'm being honest. So there are other models out there, and I'm not definitely set on the P790. In fact, I will need to probably see if indeed Wilson do bring out something in the near future as a replacement for this, then I might be interested in that. It might be an absolute world beater in terms of look and in terms of performance. We'll see. But there's also models from Callaway and Ping and everything else that I might be interested in. So I'll be testing some others out as we go through the winter, maybe making a decision on what I want later in the year. And I'll obviously let you know what's happening with that, because you won't be able to sleep at night. So I hope that was in some way informative and helpful. And if you've got any questions, put them in the comments and I'll get back to you. And apart from that, I'd just like to say thanks for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.